All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming in today. There's been a lot of chatter probably around the company on CX coaching, customer service coaching, customer experience coaching. And we want to get out in front of everybody and let everyone know what's really going on and have a really great introduction to this system and this process. And you might be looking at me going, why would we take on another embark in another training coaching session, because we're already so good at what we do. And that's what we're going to go over today. So we went through with Frank Favaro with CX coaching. Frank is a licensed CX coach. He spent 4 years at Smith & Obey prior to starting his CX coaching business. He knows us. He's been a customer of ours in the past. He knows our industry, and he's helping us become better at delivering an experience for our customers that makes them more loyal to us. And he's also helping us improve our culture internally so you guys can have less fire, less stress, and more success. Who's on board for that? Who wants show of hands? Who wants that? Perfect. So we've got that, right? So that's what we want. We want to help you. We want to give everyone the tools and the answers to the test to be successful and make your job easier so you can have more success, because your success is our success. So we're going to go through this today. We're going to introduce why we're doing it, and we're really going to end and really explain the why behind all of it. The methodology here that I'm going to show you, this is the wheel. This is what we're doing, right? This is a system, a process that we're going through. Every quarter, we're going to go back in with Frank, and we're going to recreate a new part, a new playbook to give us a systemized approach at customer service. We've been talking about customer service for years and years and years. The company was built on great customer service. But the challenge in today's fast-paced world is employee A, Tommy, does things completely different than John over here, right? There's not a consistent experience for the customer. So we want to systemize. This is a systemized approach, so we can actually have a playbook that is going to help you. You're going to have autonomy to make decisions, and you're going to be empowered. And it's a great feeling, because you're not going to have to be like, do I have to ask permission for this? No, if it's great for the customer, let's go ahead and do it. So let's go through this system. We're going to go through this process. This is not another flavor of the month. We are working through this. We are all committed to these systems and processes. So let's go through. This is fun. We're here to have a great time today. We all have a favorite brand. We all have a company we just love giving our money to. We love doing business with, right? You know, for me, it's I love Chick-fil-A. Like I go in there and they just make me feel so good, right? It's my pleasure and thank you, and their smile and their energy. It just makes me want to come back. And then even better, when they drop the ball, like they make it right. They gave me a $10 gift card the other day because they messed my order up, just on the spot. And anything they can do to help me, I just felt good leaving there, because we're all going to make mistakes, right? But they know how to make it right even when they do. So that's one of my favorite brands. What's some of yours? Who's got a favorite brand to do business with? Maybe it's personally, professionally, so one of your contractors, maybe it's a supplier, maybe it's your favorite restaurant or bar. Or who's got a favorite brand and why? What do you think? What's yours? Jackie, what's your favorite brand and why? And Jackie, you're probably going to tell me, right? So let's get a few people to buy into this. Let's start picking out a few people in the audience. Once one person shares, it's a lot easier to get another person to share. It's the hardest part is getting the first person to raise their hand, typically. Okay. So some of our favorite brands and why. We're going to hear consistency. We're going to hear they know me, they take care of me, right? We're going to hear they're easy to work with. We're going to hear great service. We're going to hear quality. We're going to hear brand reputation, right? We're going to hear all of these great things. And the thing that we're never going to hear is, I love them because they're cheap, right? We're never going to hear price. So we want to play that up, because price is not ever a solution, ever, ever, ever. It's price is price. So we have to get the mindset is out of our minds of look, it's all about price. No, it's not. It's never about price. We just haven't shown enough value yet. And that's why we're doing this system. So after we go through that exercise, going through. These are some of the answer, you know, that we hear often, the Chick-fil-A, right? Starbucks, people of Starbucks, you know, and these are also companies that have went through the exact same system that we're going through. So, you know, these are world-class systems used by the best companies in the world out there today. So they work, they're proven. The evidence is irrefutable. And our customers today, look, they are telling us, the surveys show that 86% of customers will pay more money for a better experience. So it's proven, but 14%, yeah, it's all about price, no matter what, right? Bottom line, but do we really want more of that? Or do we want more of the 86? Who do you guys like doing business with more? Who's easier to work with? The 86, right? So that's who we want to do more business with, because this is what our customers are telling us they want. This is what makes them loyal to us. Number one, we got to deliver a great product and service, and we have that. We work with the best manufacturers out there, right? We constantly are working to improve that great product and great service, but we can't just have that. And that's why we're doing CX coaching. We have to be consistent, and not just consistent like our competition, but a step above everyone else. We have to be easier to do business with, not just a little bit better. We want to be 2 steps better. Employee evangelist. We want our employees to be so good and love their job so much and love working here that, you know, the outside world feels it. Our customers feel it. They love our energy, right? We want to educate versus being sold. Who likes being sold? If you feel like, oh, like, what do I got to do to get this order today? That's a horrible feeling. We don't want to experience that. We are always educating why we're the best. Confusion is the enemy of our buyers. So we always want to be consistent when we educate, and simple, but educating our customers and then personalizing the experience. You know, as simple as using our customers' names, making it a personal experience, doing personalized things for them, right? And then creating those wow moments. Chuck, you had a great wow moment we talked about in the meeting, and I'm sure we have a few others out there. And we want to start talking about these wow moments, these opportunities where we went above and beyond. We're going to start celebrating them and doing more to recognize you for them. And that's what we'll talk about also today. So 3 things that world-class customer service companies do better than anyone else out there. And that's why we're doing this, because we want to be the best, right? Not just a little bit better than Musson to where the customer has to weigh. We want to be like, no, it's a clear, there's no doubt in our minds who the best option is. So there's 3 things that world-class customer service companies do better than anyone else. And the first is they dictate their service aptitude levels, which we'll explain. The second is they're not paranoid about the competition. They're paranoid about the customer. And the third that world-class service companies do is they put themselves and their employees in the shoes of their customer. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit now. So the Ritz-Carlton, one of the greatest hotel chains out there, they charge on an average night in Cleveland around $670 a night. You could go to the Holiday Inn, it's a quarter mile away, and it's $270 a night. The Ritz-Carlton is always booked. The Holiday Inn, not always booked, or not even close to booked most times than not. The challenge, though, is how can you pay $400 more for a bed and a night's rest and some pillows and a TV on the wall in a restroom, right? But people do it time and time and time again because the experience that Ritz-Carlton gives. And when we look at their mission statement here and their purpose, it's really what they do when they join the family. They create a culture and they create guidelines for how they want people to perform. And that's what we're doing. We're creating playbooks for us to be more consistent, so we all know the right move and the right play to call in a certain situation when we're interacting with our customers. Because right now, everybody's doing it different, right? The decision that John makes might be completely different than the decision that, you know, Mark makes, right? So we have to make sure that we're more consistent and always doing the right things for our customers. Superior service. We're pretty good. Who thinks we're good at customer service already? Everybody's going to raise their hand, right? Most people always do. And we're going to then show this survey. 300 organizations out there were surveyed in our industry, and they were asked, are you great at customer service? And the answers came back. 80% of them said yes, just probably like we have around 80% in the room today, maybe even 90% in your company. So 80% think they're great. Bain and Company, the surveying company that did this, then they went and surveyed 3,000 of their customers, and they asked the customers the same question. Are they great at customer service? And 8% agreed. So we have 80% believing they're great, 8% of their customers agree. So who's right? Well, look, our customers are everything to us. Our employees are everything. You're first. Our customers are second, because we have to understand we're in the perception business, right? So it's not really how good we think we are. It's what our customers think. And that's why we're going after this. We're going all in, because we're in a crazy time. And the numbers show us that we are at a 17-year low overall in our country today in customer satisfaction. The American Customer Satisfaction Index shows us this. And we all feel it. We all live in the exact same world, right? So we have to pivot, and we have to do things different than everyone else is doing out there. So when we get to the next chapter, we are absolutely dominating. And that's what we want to do. We want to be the industry leader, and we want to grow the right way. And we want to give all of our employees the tools to do so. Any questions, guys, before I move on? Anything you want to ask? No?
No, perfect so far.
Good? Okay.
Yep.
So I really like this slide. I use it a lot. It really is powerful, and it shows that, because we feel it, like, you know, like we all live in the same world. I mean, like the numbers don't lie. Like, we're all the buyer, we're all the consumer. So, you know, really use that. Like, you know, our service anymore is average. Almost 80% of the time it's average. It's a transaction. And then after that, it's poor typically. And then every blue moon, we get something where it's like, wow, I got lucky today. I got the right one, right? But that doesn't happen often. So, you know, let's play this. I like going from this slide right into this. You know, expertise is the enemy of innovation. So we can't just sit back and keep doing what we're doing, because what got us here today, we're a great company. What got us here, though, is not going to get us to our next goal. And it's so easy to just sit back, think, hey, we're already experts. Why should we do anything different, right? We're already doing great. And we put our blinders on. We think nothing else out there is worth doing. And you know, next thing you know, somebody from the outside world comes in and they take our lunch, because denial is expensive. And we're not in denial. We're just always looking for opportunities to improve. And then you could, you know, the Blockbuster story, you know, the CEO of Blockbuster goes into the boardroom and he has his people in there, and he introduces, hey, there's this little startup of Netflix, this company. I don't know, they have something. I think it's something we should look into. I really seriously. They have a subscription model. Blockbuster board meeting, he gets laughed out of the place, and almost they let him go, because 12% of Blockbuster's revenue came from late fees. So by eliminating those late fees, you're eliminating 12% of profit. The CEOs, so he almost gets kicked out. The rest is history, because Netflix takes over and disrupts the industry as they know it. Blockbuster tried to copy them, too late down the road. It didn't work, right? So denial is expensive. We have to always be looking and working to do things better. So it starts with service aptitude. As you guys remember, the 3 things world-class companies do. Service aptitude is a person's ability to recognize opportunities to meet and exceed a customer's expectations, and it's regardless of the circumstances. So can we be as consistent at 8:30 on a Monday as we are at 4:30 on a Friday? And that's every single employee, right? can we be aware of those opportunities to first, we got to meet the expectations of our customers and then be aware of the opportunities to exceed the expectations of our customers. And that's what service aptitude is. But here's the thing, service aptitude is not taught. So we haven't learned it. So if we all have an opportunity to improve our service aptitude, when we look at the numbers, because it's always important for us to look at the numbers, research conducted by Harvard, Carnegie Foundation, and Stanford have all concluded that 85% of job success today comes from highly developed, well-developed soft skills, the people skills, okay? And only 15% of success, the job success, comes from technical skill. Who wants to be successful in their job? Show of hands, everybody? Fantastic. So these are skills. What we're doing are things that are going to help you be more successful in your job and in your life. And that's why we're doing it. You will have more success, not just at your job. And look, we love for you to be here for your entire career. But even if you're not, you're taking something away that you now have and no one else can take from you. They're yours. You've improved your service aptitude levels, okay? So this is yours. We are doing this to help you because we invest in you and we care about you and we want you to be highly successful no matter what you do in life, all right? So getting back to service aptitude though, a lot of times our most recently hired, least trained, lowest paid employees deal with our customers the most. So service aptitude comes from three places. It's our previous life experience, which we can't control who our parents were, when we can't control who our friends were growing up, and we can't control where we came from, right? Not everybody came from, their parents, understanding business and we all come from different backgrounds. So we're not taught service aptitude at home. And most of us are not flying around on first class flights and driving luxury automobiles at 16, 18 years old and right, staying at the Ritz-Carlton either. So a lot of us haven't experienced what a real world-class customer service experience is. So it's not really fair to expect us to have this. The second place we get our service aptitude is our previous work experience. So we have all worked for bosses that we probably didn't really think were that great, right? I mean, like most of us have at one point in time in our lives worked for a bad boss. It happens because there's a lot of bad bosses out there for other companies. So if we came to Air Control Products from a boss who just thought customers were out to take advantage of the company and they wanted to just punish 98% for what 2% do, and that's going to be your customer service mindset because that's where you came from. That's what you were influenced, and it's not your fault, but it is the current work experience right here, right now, that we want to dictate. We want to give you the service aptitude that helps you in your job because the two previous you can't control. The third is, and it's not your responsibility to come to Air Control Products with high service aptitude. It's our responsibility to give it to you. And that's what we're doing. And that's why it's so important. So I kind of went ahead of the slide, but that's it right here. So that's our service aptitude. Because when we get into customer loyalty and we want to help our customers, and look, I was moving over some slides too. I was going to give you the internal customer versus external customer slide. I think it's an important one because it can really like get everybody thinking like this is our culture, and the leaders out there, we're going to treat each other like customers also, right? So customer loyalty, micro moments. You guys know these slides, you've seen them. So the results are the results. The result is we delivered the fan, right? The result is, the contractor installed the equipment. The result is the dentist fixed my tooth. The result is the steak was medium well. That's just a result. We're never going to earn brand loyalty, our customers' loyalty, with just delivering a result. Brand loyalty is won in the micro moments. And that's what these systems are geared to help us with. We're going to become more consistent. We're going to learn how to personalize the experience. We're going to build better relationships and turn customers into friends by creating emotional connections. We're going to be easier to do business with. We're going to understand how to deliver genuine hospitality and build better rapport. You know, our expertise, we know our equipment. We already have that down, right? Loving our jobs, making sure our customers feel our energy. So these are all the ways that we can build brand loyalty. This is where the magic is. This is that we're working on. The number one thing great companies do with great customer service is they train their service aptitude levels. And then to finish off why we're doing this, because what's good for the company and what's good for us is good for everyone, is a return on experience. So the 11-year study performed by the Watermark Survey Group, they took 11 years. It took them 11 years to complete this study. And it's customer service leaders, the CX leaders, compared to the CX laggards. So we're talking about the top in every industry compared to the bottom in every industry, right? So when we looked at this and this performance was done in the study, this is what we took from it. 63% of customer experience laggards, they profited 63% over a course of 11 years. So when this study was performed, an overall profit, 63% was the cumulative return. Pretty good when we think about it, but not really that good when compared to the S&P 500, which had an overall return of 139%. Because when we look at that, it's obviously 219% difference. But then let's look at the customer experience leaders out there. They had an actual return of 184%, right? And when we look at that, it's 133% better than the S&P 500 and 300% better than the laggards. But here's what's really important. When we looked at just the 2007 to 2009 timeframe, because we don't know what's coming. We've been coming out of a great economy, right? We hear a recession is coming. We see inflation up, 40%, right? We see, supply chain issues. We see poor customer service. It's kind of chaotic out there right now when we really look at it, and we don't know what's coming, right? So, but let's look at the 2007 to 2009, just that time frame. The CX laggards, they were a negative 57% return. Most of them didn't last, right? The S&P 500 was negative 16% during that time. The only companies that profited in the worst economic time in our lives were the CX leaders. They have 6.1%. So it actually shows us that we can create our own economy. Whatever is going on out there, we are going to be the best choice for our customers. And that's why we're doing this also. So what's in it for you? You're going to get the answers to the test. You're going to get better at service. I guarantee you, once you start practicing these things, you're going to get better, and you'll start practicing them in your home life. I would start talking about the never and always. And that's when we can get into start sharing some examples. You could, however you guys want to do it, but showing one of the things I was also thinking about for you was, sharing a never. Getting your employees to share a never. I don't have your list in front of me. Give me a never. Or do you have any of that in front of you guys?
I do. Listen to respond, make excuses, never make excuses.
All right, so let's use the one, make excuses, right? So let's say that you're having an interaction with a customer. Like, let's tee up our employees with a scenario. And let's have them create a story. It doesn't have to be anything long, but it makes them think. If they do the never, what's going to happen? Let's say they're working with a customer and they make excuses. What's going to happen? What's going to be the next step? How's this story going to play out if they make an excuse for something that came up? Maybe it's not their fault, right? But it is their problem. And that's what we have to always be understanding. Like, we can't make excuses. Air Control Products is Air Control Products. Whether I created the problem or someone else did, we can't make excuses. We must own it. Because what's going to happen? How's the story going to play out if we make an excuse here? What's that customer then going to do? What's that? Is the customer going to be satisfied if we're making excuses? Do we like when companies we work with make excuses to us? Some of us argue like hell, right? I mean, some of us take it up the ladder. Some of us don't say anything. But what do? Do we keep doing business with that company? Probably not. So we have to take it one step further and think, okay, I have a choice to make. I can make an excuse here, or what's the always? What's our always on
The
there?
always is own it and make it right.
All right. So if I own it and I make it right in that situation, which one is going to deliver brand loyalty? Which one is going to make it better probably for me in my job? You know, I want to own this and make it right. Right? Because if I make excuses, what could happen? Could it get escalated to the manager of that person? It's a pretty good chance, right?
Right.
Let me talk to your manager. This isn't working out the way I want it to. Customers will do that. So we have to really get them to think like, why should I do this? It's going to make their lives less stressful, right? Less fires and more success. That's back to what that's what it's about. So it's crucial to where, we can role play these situations. So have them give an example. Like let's say there's always going to be fires and problems, right? You guys live them every day. Equipment came in incorrectly from whatever manufacturer price, right? Things happen. Something's incorrect. So you make an excuse. Oh, you know what? Because it's easy to not own things, whether it's our fault or not. We didn't potentially cause the problem, but we have to fix the problem. We have to own it. We have to make it right. So get them to understand and share examples of how doing the always could prevent future fire, right? Could prevent instead of there's a little bit of smoke right here, right now in this room, we could spray water on it, or it could burn the whole house down, right? Does that make sense?
Yep.
And I think getting them to think in those ways and sharing an example of how the always could help them. The always could help them by, you know what? We're going to take care of this. We're going to own it. I'm calling the manufacturer right now, and I'm going to make sure that we get this right for you. I will be in communication. And, if there's anything that you need in addition to, or please let me know, but I'm on this. I'm owning this, and having that clear, communication with the customer is really important also. Just making sure we're very clear, when we own it. So, and that's all the customers ask, right? I mean, we're customers too. Like, look, there's going to be mistakes. Nothing pisses me off more though when I'm a customer and people won't own it. That's it, right? Own it. So make it right. But I mean, I really like I've seen a lot of success with getting your employees to really have to start thinking, get them out of autopilot, get them off autopilot. That's what your job is get them thinking more and create more awareness levels. Because when these opportunities are going to come up, and then they will, because they always do, we are aware. We're aware. Well, because if we're practicing and we're role playing these always and these nevers, man, every time these situations come up, they're going to have an opportunity to make the right choice. And more right choices creates more brand loyalty. And more right choices helps them be more successful, your employees, right? So it's always coming back to their success, their success, their success. It's not about you. It's not about your success. Keep it all about them at all times. And I promise you, they're going to buy into it because it helps them. I mean, it's not rocket science here. It's really simple. If I'm always doing the nevers, I'm always in trouble. I'm always on fire. I'm always stressed. If I'm always doing the always, right?
Yep.
I'm smooth sailing, man. Life is good. So, I think it's pretty simple.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Well, I was going to tell you, Frank, that one, we're going to integrate a little bit more than never always in the slides, and we'll do that on our own. And then
No, that's
also-
yours. Yeah.
Yeah,
My whole thing was I just
and the
wanted
other
to
thing
kind
is
of,
we have some things Rob's working on for teasers and stuff for our action statement, which is really cool, and I think it's going to spur up some conversation around here prior to the launch. So
awesome.
we'll integrate that in there, but whether it's in this slide or not, I'll get with the team and we'll put that together. But we have some other things to go along with this, more fun activities to get them involved.
Good. That's what I want to hear. That's awesome. Yeah, make it yours. I wanted to just show another presentation where maybe you like 4 or 5 things from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't expect you to use, all these slides, that's for sure. But, if there's something that you find that was valuable to take from, that's why I wanted you to give it to you.
Yeah, we can play around with it.
And then I'm thinking like yesterday, like in your next, so when we get into our next session, we get into like our conversation never and always. So when we're in the middle of interacting, like and building relationships with customers, we actually do a conversation never and always. That's our next session together. But like, that'll help us also. Because our next session is awesome. Like it's really good. Like we're actually going to get like, can you keep quiet for longer than 18 seconds? It's an exercise to teach us how to actually listen and not talk. So it's pretty fun. But anyway,
I don't know if I could do that.
I know, right? It's pretty amazing. But anyway, I wanted to just give you this information and maybe it helps the rollout. And,
That'll help. I appreciate it, Frank.
But state of service, right? You have the blueprint of what you want to talk about and what it should look like.
Yeah.
And then what we'll also do is I'll send you all of the slides from our last session that goes into the buy-in and everything else, right? What's in it for me, gaining buy-in, everything that we showed. The problem is it's such a big deck, so I got to send it probably in a Dropbox or something.
Okay.
So let me get off here and do that. And then any other questions for me?
No, and I appreciate you doing this, Frank. And I'm obviously me and you will be communicating as we put this together.
Can you guys hear me? Mr.
Yes, Rob, how you doing?
Okay, good. All right. So I just been listening and I just wrote down some notes and I just want to make some comments,
Yes.
Pope, so that we don't forget these things. And then Frank, you can weigh in on them also. But first thing, I think we should make reference that K Company's doing this. That you have them on board somewhere in the
Okay.
presentation, if you're okay with that.
Sure.
Frank, because I think it shows another group in our industry that everybody thinks is great, but they recognize, hey, we need to take it to the next level. We need to make sure we're consistent across our corporation, and they're implementing it. I think it gives some credibility to the fact that, hey, we're doing this, and so is K Company, and in addition to those big companies, Starbucks and Chick-fil-A. Okay. I like the idea of being 2 steps better. Okay, we can always go forward a little bit, but we need to do 2 steps better than everyone else. We need to be further ahead than everyone else. Does Michael have any of the survey data showing that maybe we're not 100% in all eyes of all people? And we want to get to that point where everyone thinks we're awesome. And do we have any negative or maybe not stellar data that we can bring up and says, that we're in that same boat where 80% of executives think they're great, but 3,000 people think they're not so great. All right.
It's a great point, Rob. I love that. Yeah,
Okay.
that's awesome.
I think there's something to be said about not everybody has the opportunity or has experienced great customer service, and regardless of financial status, but it's just like we talk about that at the very beginning, but until you experience that, you really don't know what it is. And maybe not everybody understands what it is until so we are going to try to get to the point where everyone else can experience a great customer service. Give something to somebody else that they may not have an opportunity to get on their own, and be like, I love dealing with air control products just because of the way they are, where they may not have that opportunity elsewhere. And I think too, we should put something in there about, you feel good when somebody else compliments what you've done for them, like, and you feel good when they feel good. And then it's not about you, it's about helping them feel better. And then they, like, how many times when somebody says, thank you for doing that, you feel like, okay, I made a difference in that person's life today. That's a good thing. And if we all can do that for everyone all the time, that makes it that much better. I think we could also play into the fact that we are embarking on this to prevent a future slowdown. We know the economy is going to change, but when financial time, or when people have to make tougher decisions financially in the future, they're going to choose somebody that they love doing business with, as opposed to the cheapest price or something else. They'll be like, look, I can't afford any screw up here. I want air control products because those guys are going to take care of me. So it's also giving us a safety net, or a assurance into the future that we are going to survive a more difficult financial time because we are better at customer service. Sharing
I love
never, okay, Broadview, and being aware and about keeping it about everyone else and not just the company. It's about each of us at the company becoming better for not only ourselves, but also for the company. But it is about everyone else. Okay, that's all I had. Sorry to talk so long, but that's what I had.
No, Rob, great input. Thank you so much. And I wrote some notes there too, because I loved it. Some of the things you said. One of my favorite quotes are "Givers gain." You know what I mean? It's a fact. People love giving, a great experience, because they likes the way that it's a boomerang that comes back to them, where they feel good because, thank you so much. You did a great job for me. It feels good, right? Like you said. So you actually, by giving a great service experience, it makes you feel good. It really does. And that's a great way to, get everybody on the same team internally. And that helps culture. I love your guys' culture. And, I think when I walk in your building, I feel it anyway. It's great. There's fun. It's laid back. But it's still professional. You have a great culture. So, I think what you said is awesome. The economy will change, and companies will use, who they love to work with, right? Who they love doing business with. And that's really what it is. I loved also what you said about preventing future slowdowns. We don't want a future slowdown. This will allow us to continue rocking and rolling, right, at the same pace. So that's really important too. Here's the K companies never and always. So I'll share that slide with you from another deck. And then that way, that's how you can kind of.
Do you have like Bell and Blair too? Do you have Bell and Blair too?
Oh, I figured about this.
Yeah, I can use them also.
Because that's two of our customers. And
Yeah, let me get Bell and Blair's. I don't have their finished never and always, but I just talked to him yesterday, but I'll get it from his wife, Claudia, if not him. But yeah, I'll get theirs. Hopefully, I imagine they have it dressed up. I imagine they do. I actually never asked for it, so I should get that one anyway. All right, anything else that I can get you that you want to see, that you need? Any other companies I'm thinking right now that you work with, any other like best practices?
well, I think you mentioned Summit. I don't think we do anything with Summit, but they're similar in our field. But
Yeah, they're like a general contractor. Diversified Piping is another mechanical. You guys buy from them?
No.
No? Or do they buy from, or are they buying from you, I mean? Rick Bukovic?
Yeah, the name doesn't ring a bell, but obviously I'm new, so they might, but I don't think they're, one of the top ones of ours, but I could be wrong.
Well, they should be. Maybe we can.
I know, I just wrote it down.
All right, well, I'll tell them that they need to start buying more from you.
Perfect.
All right. All right, buddy. Anything else, Rob, Jackie? You guys, any other input? Look, I'm writing stuff down too. You helped me. So thank you for your help. I I always learn from you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. I think great summary. Appreciate that, doing this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'll send this deck to you, and then feel free to take whatever you want. And let me know if you need anything.
Thanks,
We got
Frank.
a big day coming up for rollout, so this is all recorded, so I'll send you this too.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you.
All right, see you guys. Have a good weekend.
Yep, you too.
See you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.